New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your lives.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of governance, Delhi,
NDTV brings to you the best breakfast show. The breakfast show only on NDTV 24/7 every morning at 8 a.m.
NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number one in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
We are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
लगातार जनता की आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का काम मैं करता हूं.
I was a student up until very recently. I really want to work and do something for my people because they have given me this opportunity. They have elected me.
सोचा नहीं.
Welcome back. The big international headline. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar is all set to visit Qatar. It's going to be a 3-day visit, and this comes amid the backdrop of India's diplomacy in West Asia and also the conflicts in Middle East. Of course, we have seen what's happening with the Israel-Hamas war and also with Syria, which is why S. Jaishankar's visit becomes extremely important. Remember, the focus is energy, security, renewing bilateral ties, as it were, but also people-to-people connect. That's become a hugely important part of Prime Minister Modi and S. Jaishankar's diplomacy. And moving now to some tragic news from South Korea. Well, more than 175 people have died in what has been South Korea's worst ever airplane crash. All 177 passengers died in that plane crash, and 2 out of the 4 crew members also died. Two crew members have been rescued, but really dramatic visuals also. That moment caught on camera when the flight skidded off, crashed into a wall and burst into flames.
The final days of 2024 have seen a number of aviation accidents, from some near misses, such as in Canada, a miraculous rescue in Kazakhstan, to an accident that shook the world in South Korea. One of the worst civil aviation disasters to hit South Korea in modern history. Roughly 179 people are dead after a flight from Bangkok carrying 181 passengers and crew crashed at the Muan airport in the early hours of Sunday. The second such crash in the past week. Only 2 crew members have been rescued so far. Footage of the final moments before the crash show the Boeing 737-800 attempting a belly landing before skidding down the runway with no visible landing gear, slamming into the airport's perimeter wall and bursting into an explosion of flames. Officials have revealed that of the 175 passengers aboard the flight, 173 were Korean nationals and 2 were Thai nationals. Taking to X, Thailand's Prime Minister has also expressed her condolences and ordered a probe into the disaster.
먼저 제주항공을 아껴주시는 모든 분들께 머리 숙여 사과의 말씀을 드립니다. 무엇보다 이번 사고로 인해서 유명을 달리하신 탑승객분들과 유가족분들께 깊은 애도와 사과의 말씀을 올립니다. 현재로서는 사고의 원인을 가늠하기 어렵고 관련 정부 기관의 공식적인 조사 발표를 기다려야 하는 상황입니다.
The big question, the cause of the crash remains a mystery. The crash comes as South Korea continues to face political turmoil, with the third acting president taking office in the past 2 months. While families nervously await for answers, all eyes will remain on South Korea to see how it navigates past this tragedy. With Disha Bagchi, NDTV Bureau Report.
Absolutely tragic there. But looking at news now of Indian aviation, well, a big day for the Navi Mumbai International Airport, as the airport is now moving towards operational readiness. Remember, it's being seen as a transformative move as far as the aviation is concerned in Maharashtra, in Mumbai particularly. Remember, the first commercial test landing was conducted by the Airports Authority of India and the Mumbai Airports Authority.
It was touched down for the first time as an Indigo commercial flight landed on the Navi Mumbai airport tarmac. The flight was welcomed with a water cannon salute. Officials say that the first phase of this 4-terminal airport is scheduled to open to the public by April 17th.
ये historic है not only for Navi Mumbai, it's for the entire aviation sector. Because जिस हिसाब से इंडिया में aviation sector का growth potential है, which is expected to grow 5 times, 5 गुना growth होना है, वो growth के लिए ऐसे नए greenfield airport are must in India.
Managing Director of Maharashtra City Planning Agency (CIDCO) said that they have proposed the construction of a 32-kilometer long metro line connecting Chhatrapati Shivaji Airport to the Navi Mumbai International Airport. This line will connect all the major metro lines of the city.
छत्रपति शिवाजी इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट और ये नवी मुंबई इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट है, इन दोनों के बीच में मेट्रो का भी अपना प्रपोजल है जिसका डीपीआर तैयार है. उसके लिए राज्य सरकार को हम लोगों ने भेजा हुआ है परमिशन के लिए. एक बार वो परमिशन मिलने के बाद वो हम टेंडर निकाल के काम भी शुरू करेंगे.
Connectivity to this new airport by road has already been planned. The Atal Setu bridge was constructed in the sea, connecting the Navi Mumbai airport to the Mumbai city.
Once this becomes operational, people of Navi Mumbai don't have to travel across the city to reach Chhatrapati Shivaji Airport. And once the airport comes in operational, Terminal 1 will go under redevelopment. With cameraman Vijay Sartape, this is Yash Tiwari for NDTV Mumbai.
And well, now some sports news. What a year it has been for Indian chess. After D. Gukesh, now Koteru Hampi has also won a top chess title. In fact, she has won the World Rapid Chess title. She's the first Indian to win the chess title for 2 times. She defeated the Indonesian champion. And there you can see those lovely pictures there. In fact, what is being hailed as a great era for chess. After D. Gukesh and of course Pragnananda, now you have another emerging chess world champion. That will take a short break now, but lots more coming up on the other side.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Mahakumbh, the festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
NDTV shines with 38 prestigious wins at the News Television Awards 2024. Powerful journalism to cutting-edge digital innovation, production excellence to regional leadership. NDTV sets the benchmark. 38 awards, each a testament to your trust in NDTV. NDTV stands for trust.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
(2024), the year that was, when India
watching the World 24/7. I'm Vedant Agarwal. Well, coming up on the show, former US President Jimmy Carter has died, and also some tragic news from South Korea. Over 175 people have died in what has been South Korea's worst ever airplane crash. All of that and more coming up. First, a quick look at the headlines at this hour. Former US President Jimmy Carter dies at 100. Nobel Peace Prize recipient Jimmy Carter has died. The Empire State Building lit in red, white and blue in his honor. The worst airline disaster in South Korea in over 30 years. 179 confirmed dead in the Jeju airplane crash. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar's 3-day visit to Qatar. The foreign minister to review bilateral relations. His visit in the backdrop of the conflict in West Asia. Elon Musk backs H-1B visas. Musk asks H-1B critics to take a big step back. In Suchir Balaji's death, Musk backs his mother. Well, Elon Musk says it doesn't seem like a suicide. This as OpenAI whistleblower was member found dead in the US. A big year for Indian space. Well, ISRO is all set to launch its SPARDEX mission, India's final space mission for 2024. Our lead story on the World 24/7 this morning. Well, Jimmy Carter, the 39th President of the United States, has died at 100. Carter was surrounded by his family at his home in Georgia. In his final moments, this is what the Carter Center has said in a statement. Remember, US President Joe Biden remembered Carter as a dear friend and an extraordinary leader in a statement, while President-elect Donald Trump said Americans owe the former president a debt of gratitude. Preparations are underway for a state funeral. Carter was a peanut farmer and US Navy lieutenant before going into politics, eventually serving one term as the governor of Georgia and as President of the United States from 1977 to 1981. He was the only former US president to reach 100 years old. And look at those pictures of the Empire State Building lit in red, white and blue in the honor of the former president. And moving now to some tragic news from South Korea. Well, all 179 passengers have died in what has been one of South Korea's worst airline disasters in history. Well over 175 passengers, all passengers, and 2 out of the 4 crew members have died in this absolutely horrific tragedy. In fact, in those pictures, you can see the final moments being captured on camera as well, when the flight skidded off slightly and then crashed into a wall and burst into flames. Look at those pictures of the aftermath of that absolutely horrific crash. Well, the black box has been recovered, the flight data recorder. That's going to be important to ascertain the exact cause of the crash. That is still unknown. Remember, the airline, the Jeju Air CEO, in fact, has said that we take full responsibility for the tragedy.
The final days of 2024 have seen a number of aviation accidents, from some near misses, such as in Canada, a miraculous rescue in Kazakhstan, to an accident that shook the world in South Korea. One of the worst civil aviation disasters to hit South Korea in modern history. Roughly 179 people are dead after a flight from Bangkok carrying 181 passengers and crew crashed at the Muan airport in the early hours of Sunday. The second such crash in the past week. Only 2 crew members have been rescued so far. Footage of the final moments before the crash show the Boeing 737-800 attempting a belly landing before skidding down the runway with no visible landing gear, slamming into the airport's perimeter wall and bursting into an explosion of flames. While the blaze was put off, the wreckage is unrecognizable, making search and rescue a difficult endeavor. Officials have revealed that of the 175 passengers aboard the flight, 173 were Korean nationals and 2 were Thai nationals. Jeju Airlines has issued an apology, with the CEO taking full responsibility for the tragedy and bowing deeply before the nation in a televised address. Taking to X, Thailand's Prime Minister has also expressed her condolences and ordered a probe into the disaster.
먼저 제주항공을 아껴주시는 모든 분들께 머리 숙여 사과의 말씀을 드립니다. 무엇보다 이번 사고로 인해서 유명을 달리하신 탑승객분들과 유가족분들께 깊은 애도와 사과의 말씀을 올립니다. 현재로서는 사고의 원인을 가늠하기 어렵고 관련 정부 기관의 공식적인 조사 발표를 기다려야 하는 상황입니다.
The big question, the cause of the crash remains a mystery. While a probe is ongoing, the South Korean Transport Ministry has revealed that a bird strike warning was issued moments before the crash. Visuals also show the airplane's landing gear reportedly failed to deploy. The crash comes as South Korea continues to face political turmoil, with the third acting president taking office in the past 2 months. While families nervously await for answers, all eyes will remain on South Korea to see how it navigates past this tragedy. With Disha Bagchi, NDTV Bureau Report.
And joining me on the show this morning, Bill Gallo, who is the sole bureau chief of Voice of America. Thanks very much, Bill, for being with us this morning. What an absolutely horrific tragedy, and it's been a week of horrific aviation disasters across the world. But looking at what happened in South Korea, the worst disaster in South Korean history, at least in the past 3 decades. The black box has been recovered, the flight data recorder, but the exact cause of the incident is still unknown.
Yeah, there's really a lot of questions that remain here. I mean, I think the biggest one as we're thinking about this is how could a bird strike, an alleged bird strike, lead to a malfunctioning landing gear? Aviation experts say that is not typical at all. And then how do the other elements play into this? I mean, there are some confusing elements. Eyewitnesses report seeing some sort of engine explosion or fire on the ground moments before this plane attempted to land. Then there are other questions, such as why did airport authorities not lay sand or some kind of barrier down that would have slowed that plane in its final moments there before it crashed into the wall, which of course is the last question. Why was there a brick wall at the end of a runway? These are all questions that will need to be answered. There may not be a satisfying answer for several weeks or months because that's the nature of how these investigations sometimes go.
Also, Bill, I think you made an important point. There are many unanswered questions. The airport's authority need to, in a sense, come clean as well. But speaking of the airline, the Jeju Airline CEO has said that the airline takes full responsibility for the tragedy, but that's not enough given the fact that, 179 people have died in this tragedy.
Yeah, this is a serious incident. These were Koreans, many of whom are coming back from holidays, vacations in Bangkok, Thailand, and you have a lot of upset people here that will demand answers. Right now, we have a strange situation with South Korea's government. There's a lot of people in very senior acting positions because of the political turmoil as laid out in your report. However, I think it's fair to say at this point that authorities are doing everything they can so far to ensure that the aviation system is safe. The acting president today ordered a review of South Korea's entire aviation system. We'll see what is the result of that. But at this point, all I can say is that authorities are treating this very seriously, and we know very little about what caused this accident so far.
Absolutely. And my last question to you, Bill, as much as it's about, the investigation which has been ordered by the Thailand administration, it's also about the human angle of the story, given the fact that 179 lives have been lost. I mean, we saw all those reports of how family members completely devastated and unimaginably so. But, what you're picking up is that outrage, anger against the airlines, and, what you're picking up as far as, the bodies are concerned. Have they reached the families?
They're still in the process of sort of identifying all the bodies. This was a gruesome scene. The reports that have come out, from that site have been quite tragic and ugly, to be honest. I mean, this was a plane that you can see there in the video. It did not remain together. It exploded in a ball of flames. The reports have indicated that many of the passengers were actually thrown from the plane. I think that sort of complicated both the rescue effort and then the collection of these bodies once they were found to be deceased. So there is a lot of anger. There's also a lot of anger because at least some of these passengers apparently were communicating with family and friends on the ground. One Korean media outlet, in fact, reported that someone on that plane said, "We see a bird stuck in the wing. It seems we're going to have difficulty landing, and these may be my final words." In fact, that was his final words. And many tragic stories coming out right now from this incident.
Absolutely, Bill. Thanks very much for being with us. I think you described it well. What an absolutely gruesome tragedy there. 179 people dying in what has been South Korea's worst ever airline disaster. But moving now to, a week of aviation disasters across the world. What comes to mind is what happened in Kazakhstan. Remember the Azerbaijani airplane that crashed and 38 people had died. Remember, Russia had issued an apology. In fact, Vladimir Putin apologized for the incident, saying that it was an absolute tragedy. In fact, Azerbaijan's president has accused Russia of accidentally shooting down an airliner on Christmas Day in a disaster that killed 38 people, as I said. Remember, Russia's silence was raising a lot of questions. Kremlin said that, Russia was firing at Ukraine at the time of the disaster, stopping short in a sense of saying that it indeed was a Russian weapon that may have struck that aircraft. And looking at some other news now, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un vowed to implement the toughest anti-US policy. This is what the state media has reported. Less than a month before Donald Trump takes office as US president, Trump's return to the White House raises prospects for high-profile diplomacy with North Korea. During his first term, Trump met Kim 3 times for talks on the North's nuclear program. Many experts, however, say a quick resumption of Kim-Trump symmetry is unlikely, as Trump would first focus on conflicts in Ukraine and the Middle East. North Korea's support for Russia's war against Ukraine also poses a challenge to efforts to revive diplomacy, as per experts. Meanwhile, Georgia on Sunday inaugurated governing party loyalist Mikhail Kavilashvili as president, despite his election being declared illegitimate by outgoing leaders and opposition groups. Well, the far-right former footballer was sworn in at a parliamentary ceremony moments after outgoing President Salome Zurabishvili said that she was the only legitimate president and vowed to fight on against the Georgian Dream Party that controls parliament. In other news, Croatia's incumbent president Zoran Milanovic thanked his supporters after winning most of the votes in the first round of a presidential election on Sunday, but must face a runoff against a ruling party candidate to secure another 5-year term. With nearly all of the votes counted, left-leaning Milanovic won 49%, while his main challenger, a candidate of the ruling conservative HDZ, trailed far behind with 19%. In a speech at the election headquarters, Milanovic said, "I would invite everyone to get out and vote in the runoff in even greater numbers. I ask everyone," he said, "to give me a show of trust, human trust and faith, and I will do everything not to disappoint them." Pre-election polls had predicted that the two would face off in the second round on January the 12th. Meanwhile, a Pakistani paramilitary soldier was killed and 7 others were wounded in cross-border exchanges of fire with Afghanistan's forces. This is what a security source said on Saturday, while hundreds of Afghans protested against the deadly airstrikes that sparked the clashes. Remember, sporadic fighting, including with heavy weaponry, erupted overnight between border forces on the frontier between Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, the province in Pakistan, and Khost province in Afghanistan. This is what officials from both the countries have said. With that, we'll take a short break now, but lots more coming up right here on The World 24/7.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views. We bring you stories that matter and impact your lives. News that informs and keeps you ahead.
From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the state of governance, Delhi, NDTV brings to you the best breakfast show. The breakfast show only on NDTV 24/7 every morning at 8 a.m.
NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
We are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
लगातार जनता की आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का काम मैं करता हूं.
I was a student up until very recently. I really want to work and do something for my people because they have given me this opportunity. They have elected me.
सोचा नहीं था कि राज्यसभा सांसद बनूंगी.
Mahakumbh, a festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
NDTV shines with 38 prestigious wins at the News Television Awards 2024. Powerful journalism to cutting-edge digital innovation. Production excellence to regional leadership. NDTV.
Welcome back. India's Foreign Minister S. Shankar is all set to visit Qatar starting today for a 3-day review of bilateral ties, especially in trade, investment, energy and security. The Ministry of External Affairs has said that Shankar will meet the Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Qatar, Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman bin Jassim Al Thani. In fact, this visit becomes important in the backdrop of the conflict in West Asia and also India's diplomacy as far as the Middle East is concerned. Of course, the focus is very much on trade, energy, security, but also people-to-people connect. That has become a key cornerstone of Prime Minister Modi and S. Jaishankar's diplomacy. And now the big visa conundrum in the US. Well, President-elect Donald Trump seems to align with Elon Musk and other tech industry supporters amid a dispute over immigration visas that has caused division among the Trump camp. Well, Musk this week threatened to go to war with MAGA Republicans after he defended visas for skilled foreigners over America-born employees. This also comes as data suggests 72% H-1B visas were given to Indians in the past year. So certainly a softer approach perhaps as far as H-1B visas are concerned. So good news certainly for Indian techies.
With President-elect Donald Trump set to return to office in less than a month, it appears a new flashpoint has emerged in American politics. It's Musk versus the populist Make America Great Again movement over the prized H-1B visa, with the Tesla chief now threatening to go to war on the matter. It seems that while Trump has appointed billionaires Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy to advise the government on efficiency, they are also pushing his upcoming administration to bring in more foreign tech workers. So how did this debate emerge? Over the past week, MAGA supporters, Trump's crucial voter base, have been slamming the president-elect for appointing Indian origin Sriram Krishnan as his AI advisor, calling his decision not America first. Musk and Ramaswamy backed Krishnan, defending the tech industry's need to bring in foreign workers. Now, Trump too appears to be siding with Musk, saying he always liked H-1B visas. So what is the H-1B visa? The H-1B visa is one of the most highly competitive visas in the US immigration system's complex catalogue, with big tech companies including Amazon, Google and Tesla among the highest recipients. In 2024, over 85,000 visas were approved, but over 400,000 applications were received. The H-1B visa is geared towards professionals and skilled workers and are most often used by the software engineers and others in the tech industry, making it critical for hard-to-fill positions. More than 7 in 10 recipients of H-1B visas are from India, followed by China, Canada and South Korea. Ahead of Trump's return, the Biden administration announced an overhaul in the H-1B visa program, aiming to modernize the program, speed up applications, and impose penalties on companies abusing the system, a complaint Trump and the MAGA movement have had in the past. These changes include automatic extensions for full-time students, easier extensions for other students, and revising the definition of specialty occupation. The new rules will come into effect on Jan 17, 2025, 3 days before Trump enters office. The big tech industry hopes that tech giants like Musk, who have developed a strong bond with the president-elect, could convince Trump to offer more visas to highly skilled foreign workers. All eyes will now be on the new Trump administration to see how it will impact the H-1B visa program and how it will impact India. Disha Bagchi for NDTV.
Meanwhile, Elon Musk has backed Suchir Balaji's mother Purnima Ramarao's claims of foul play in her son's mysterious death. Balaji, a former employee at ChatGPT parent OpenAI, accused the company of violating copyright laws in October. A month later, he was found dead in his US apartment. In an October interview with the New York Times, Balaji shared his disillusionment after realizing that OpenAI's practices, especially its use of internet source data to train AI models, could be infringing on copyright laws. In an interview with Business Insider on Thursday, Balaji's mother, Purnima Ramarao, shared her son's journey, his growing concerns about OpenAI, and the disillusionment leading to his decision to leave the company. And well, what a year it has been for Indian space, and it's going to be the last launch of 2024 for ISRO. ISRO is undertaking a space mission like never before, where innovation is written on every aspect. For the first time, India will attempt to dock and undock 2 satellites in space. On the 62 number launch of the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, India is undertaking a SPARDEX mission, the space docking experiment.
India is ready to do a very unique experiment in space, a docking, undocking experiment of 2 satellites. 2 satellites traveling at a velocity higher than the velocity of a bullet will be brought together in the vacuum of space, then separated out, all in an effort to master what is called docking and undocking in space. A technology that will be useful for India for its future Chandrayaan-4 mission, and also for creating the Bharatiya Antariksh Station, which has to be made ready by 2035. And finally, when an Indian has to land on the surface of the moon, the same docking-undocking experiment will help in that process. This is also a learning stage. How to refuel a satellite in space, how to charge another satellite in space, and very importantly, docking, undocking, rendezvous, and close approach to a satellite will give India the capability of doing surveillance in space. Docking, undocking has been mastered only by Russia, America, and China, and now India attempting it on its own steam. A big Hanuman leap for India and the Indian Space Research Organization. Docking, undocking is a very tricky exercise. In New Delhi, Pallav Bagla for NDTV.
So all eyes on that big launch. But moving now to some sports news. Well, South Africa overcame Pakistan by 2 wickets in a breathless conclusion at Centurion on Sunday to win the first test and become the first team to qualify for the ICC World Test Championship Final 2025 at Lord's from the 11th to 15th of June next year, barring any subsequent point deductions. And finally, it's been an incredible year for Indian chess. After Pragnananda, Gukesh, now Grandmaster Koneru Hampi capped off a wonderful year for Indian chess, defeating Indonesia's champion to emerge the FIDE's Women's World Rapid Chess Champion in New York. Hampi had won the event back in 2019 at Georgia, and the Indian #1 is only the 2nd player after China's champion to clinch the title more than once. And well, that's all the time that we have on the World 24/7 this morning. Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World,
Your new home for global news is here.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
"2024, the year that was, when India welcomed Ram. When India decided,
मैं नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी,
when Jammu and Kashmir turned a historic leaf,
as Chief Minister for the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir,
when India mourned, when India celebrated, when India protested, when India felt proud, when India scaled new heights. NDTV brought it all to you, your trusted news destination, yesterday, today and tomorrow.
Hello and welcome. You're watching The Breakfast Show. I'm Vedant Agarwal and Divya is joining me in studio. Divya, there's a whole lot lined up, from the protests that are intensifying in Patna over the BPSC examination to, of course, Allu Arjun's date with court.
That's right, his bail plea coming up. That's his regular bail plea. And of course, Jimmy Carter has died at the age of 100, the former US president. We have a whole lot lined up for you. First, the headlines.
BPSC re-exam protests intensify in Patna. The ongoing protests, which have continued for over 10 days, stem from allegations of a paper leak. The Bihar civil service aspirants seek a re-examination. Water cannons and lathi charge on students in Patna.
Former US President Jimmy Carter has died at the age of 100, and tributes poured in for the 39th US President. The Empire State Building has been lit up in the colors of the US flag.
A superstar's date with court. Allu Arjun's bail plea hearing today. The court to hear the regular bail plea filed by Allu Arjun.
And ISRO's 2024 sign-off, the mission as far as ISRO to launch the SPARDEX mission today, and ISRO to attempt space docking.
India looks down the barrel. Top guns back to the hut in MCG. India 33 for 3 at launch, chasing 340.
Oh, that's out as well. Cummins. We were definitely so sure the way he was.
And Divya, our lead story, well, protests in Bihar over alleged irregularities in the Bihar State Civil Services examination continue, fueled by claims of question paper leaks and late distribution. They are therefore demanding a complete cancellation of the examination and a re-examination as well.
That's right. So BPSC aspirants that have been carrying on that protest now for 10 days in demand of that re-examination. Yesterday they held that protest in Patna's Gandhi Maidan, demanding a re-examination to be held for the 70th BPSC prelis. And this is the Bihar Public Service Commission that had ruled out a statewide retest for that 70th combined competitive preliminary examination, citing a lack of evidence or grounds for such a decision to be taken without.
Absolutely, and those dramatic pictures there, the big standoff between police and those civil services aspirants, and their protests are likely to continue. Let's quickly listen into what the police had to say.
हम स्वयं जो है माइकिंग कर रहे थे, हमने बार बार उनको बोला कि आपके प्रतिनिधि हमारे समक्ष नहीं आ रहे हैं, और जो भी इन लोगों को यहाँ तक मार्च करवाने के लिए लेकर आए थे वो इनका जो है छोड़ चुके हैं। उनको यहाँ छोड़कर वो निकले यहाँ से। उसके बाद भी हमने बोला कि आप जो है आपकी जो भी मांगे हैं वो हमारे समक्ष रखिए, वार्तालाप के लिए हम लोग तैयार हैं, लेकिन वो यहाँ जमे रहे, अपनी हट पे अड़े रहे। बार बार अनुरोध करने के बाद भी धक्का मुक्की जो है अभ्यर्थियों द्वारा या जो भी उसमें लोग थे उनके द्वारा की गई, प्रशासन के साथ, हम लोगों के साथ, स्वयं हमारे साथ जो है धक्का मुक्की की गई। फिर भी हम लोग जो है अभ्यर्थियों के साथ खड़े थे, उनको समझा रहे थे। आखिरी में जो है मजबूर होकर हम लोगों के द्वारा वाटर कैनन का यूज किया गया, उसमें भी हमने स्वयं बीच में आकर जो है लोगों को उठाया गया, परंतु वो लोग जो है नहीं हटे। अब जो है हम इसको खाली करवा दें।
आज बड़ी पीड़ा हुई जिस प्रकार से पुलिस ने 17वें बीपीएससी परीक्षा के जितने भी हमारे साथी थे, अभ्यर्थी थे, जिस प्रकार से उनको पीटा गया, लाठी चार्ज कराया गया, कई लोगों जो हैं बुरी तरीके से घायल हैं, पानी का बौछार किया गया इस ठंड के माहौल में, इसकी हम कड़ी निंदा करते हैं और खेद प्रकट करते हैं। सभी जितने हमारे अभ्यर्थी हैं, मैं उन सभी लोगों से कहना चाहता हूं कि तेजस्वी यादव आपके साथ खड़ा है, मजबूती के साथ।
And we have our colleague Prabhakar joining us to get us more on this. Prabhakar, the All India Students Association has called for that chakka jam today in order to protest against the use of force that we saw yesterday of the police on the students.
Yeah, exactly. The Chakka Jam has been called by the Left Students Union, and also the case has been registered against 21 named accused, which includes Prashant Kishore. So this is a very important, significant development in this particular case. Prashant Kishore has been named one of the main accused, along with 700 unnamed accused in this particular case. So yesterday, late evening, the district administration lodged a case for not only instigating the mob on the streets of Patna, but also organizing this kind of protest in a place which was banned, and the permission was denied by the administration. Remember, this is the 12th day. Today happens to be the 12th day of this entire BPSC protest. The students were there at the Dharna roundabout, which is in the Gardani Bagh area. But it was actually the Prashant Kishore and his party which organized this at Gandhi Maidan, and later this protest march was organized, a march to Chief Minister House, where this entire incident happened, the water cannon and then the lathi charge happened. So Prashant Kishore has been named one of the main accused. The students, as far as their strategy today is concerned, they have the Chakka Jam, which they'll try to enforce in the entire Bihar rather, and also they will be continuing with the dharna at Gardani Bagh. That is what we have been told.
All right, Prabhakar, thanks very much for joining us with the latest there. So, as Prabhakar is reporting, the Chakka Jam has been called. That standoff between the state and the students is only set to intensify. Absolutely dramatic pictures there, water cannon, lathi charge, all being used, deployed as the students take to the streets.
Right, very shocking visuals there, and of course this protest has been going on for days now and is going to continue today as well. That Chakka Jam, all eyes on that protest. Thank you so much, Prabhakar, for joining us with those details. Moving on now, on the last launch of 2024, ISRO is undertaking a space mission like never before, where innovation is written on every aspect. For the first time, India will attempt to dock and undock 2 satellites in space.
Absolutely, Divya, and what a year it has been for Indian space, and this is going to be an important mission. India is undertaking a SPARDEX mission, the space docking experiment. NDTV science editor Pallav Bagla has more details on this.
India now has a burgeoning space ecosystem. Earlier, everything used to be with the Indian Space Agency. Now there are 250 plus startups, and ISRO is giving an opportunity to these startups to test their equipment in space. On this launch of the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, several experiments from startups are going into space. Green propulsion, artificial intelligence and machine learning, and synthetic aperture radars are some of them. I have with me Dr. S. Somnath to explain to us how and why these experiments will go a long way for India. Big innovative mission by ISRO in this PSLV launch?
I believe we are giving platform for the space startups to try their experiments at a very low-cost way. The POEM experiment, the PSLV onboard experimental module, is a very innovative concept. To that extent, I'm very happy that it is receiving a lot of requests from startups and companies to onboard their experiments and payload to prove that it works in space very well. Basically, the platform is nothing but that the industries or startups can put their payload alone. They don't have to worry about the peripherals. Peripheral support is given, like the power, the communication, the commanding, the orbital experience. Entire thing is given to you with very, very minimal cost and sometimes no cost. And this platform, is a upper stage of the PSLV, which is otherwise would have gone waste.
Correct.
So
it
we
would
are
have become space debris.
Space debris. So we use it appropriately with a minimal investment. I think I'm very happy this time. The POEM 4 has very exceedingly good payloads from the startup side, as you mentioned. Some of them dealing with the AI. Artificial intelligence, rather more of an edge computing approach on how to make, object identification, image intelligence. Two of the companies working on green propulsion, especially to work to prove that the thruster firing will actually take place in flight, and we will collect the data and see, sometimes image it also. And also other payloads like the synthetic aperture radar payload, where we should be able to do an imaging and then see how the imaging happens and data comes to the Earth.
So startups get to dirty their hands in the actual low gravity vacuum of space at minimal cost.
Precisely. To get a launch opportunity is not an easy thing. The launch vehicles are not available for such people to go up and then see. They cannot even book a full-fledged launch. They have to look for an opportunity or some sidewise go. But especially when you offer POEM, it becomes very important for them. And there have been so much of interest. And you should have come and seen how these 24 different teams have been working from ISRO and private to put them together in the upstage and test it and see. I see a great amount of enthusiasm.
India is ready to do a very unique experiment in space. A undocking experiment of two satellites. Two satellites traveling at a velocity higher than the velocity of a bullet will be brought together in the vacuum of space, then separated out, all in an effort to master what is called docking and undocking in space. A technology that will be useful for India for its future Chandrayaan 4 mission, and also for creating the Bharatiya Antariksh Station, which has to be made ready by 2035. And finally, when an Indian has to land on the surface of the moon, the same docking-undocking experiment will help in that process. This is also a learning stage, how to refuel a satellite in space, how to charge another satellite in space, and very importantly, docking, undocking, rendezvous, and close approach to a satellite will give India the capability of doing surveillance in space. Docking, undocking has been mastered only by Russia, America, and China. And now India attempting it on its own steam. A big Hanuman leap for India and the Indian Space Research Organization. Docking, undocking is a very tricky exercise. In New Delhi, Pallav Bagla for NDTV.
Well, all eyes on that big launch, Divya. But moving now to weather news, well, temperature has dropped by 3 to 5 degrees Celsius, but the AQI has quote-unquote improved, Divya, though it's still hazardous because the PM 2.5 continues to be much above the safe limit, but AQI is at 183, which is moderate. But what about cold wave and cold day conditions across North India, Divya?
Right, when we talk about cold wave conditions, those are expected in Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh between the 31st to the 2nd, while cold day conditions, those have started in those particular areas, including Himachal Pradesh and Rajasthan. So, of course, Delhi is not too far away, but, you know, Vedant, when we talk about the minimum temperature here, it was as high as 13 degrees yesterday. That's about 6 to 7 degrees more than it should be for this point in time. And, of course, the temperature that's, you know, dropping, and like you mentioned, the temperature has dropped by almost 3 to 4 degrees, 9 degrees at the minimum today, which is still above normal for this time of the year. So for all those people wondering, Vedant, whether it's going to be a cold New Year's and a cold New Year's Eve, it's not. It's going to be pretty normal as far as Delhi is concerned.
Absolutely. In fact, Shreya Ghosh is now joining us live, I believe. Shreya, what about the AQI? The AQI has improved, as many would say, but still hazardous given the fact that it's much above the safe limit, the PM 2.5 levels. But how are Delhiites coping up with the slightly better air, but you know, temperature dropping by 3 to 5 degrees Celsius?
Well, of course, we are on the fag end of the year, and Delhiites have already experienced a record-breaking rainfall over the weekend, which has also played a role in improving the air quality. And we also saw rainfall and snowfall in the hills, and the mercury level has also significantly dropped by 3 to 5 degrees. And as you were saying, the AQI has improved today. It is in the moderate level. It is around 183. That is essentially because of the increased wind speed as compared to what it was yesterday. The wind speed is at 35 km per hour, and that is why it's quite cold outside. One can literally feel the wind, the gusty winds, and that is kind of increasing the temperature, the feel of the winters in the national capital. And today, in fact, the average temperature will be around 18 degrees Celsius, but the minimum temperature can come down to 11 degrees and maximum can be around 21 degrees Celsius. The IMD has, of course, issued a notice that the cold wave conditions will prevail in Himachal Pradesh and Punjab areas. But in the national capital, as Divya was mentioning, the New Year's time will be pretty normal, but because of the increased wind speed, one will feel the shiver of it. And as you can see, the smog cover and visibility has also improved as compared to what it was yesterday, and therefore no flight or train disruptions have been reported yet, but people are traveling, you know, because it's the end of the year, so it's advised to sort of check their flight status or train status beforehand, and you can see the sky will be clear, but the weather department has predicted a drop in temperature in the next couple of days, so it will come down to 9 to 10 degrees Celsius. And today, in fact, we will see the clear skies, the smog cover has reduced, and the AQI has also improved because of the wind speed. And it is also important to highlight that because of this biting cold, you know, the Delhi Urban Shelter Improvement Board has ensured that the night shelters that were created across the national capital, it is open to all people, all homeless people. They do not have to show any official document such as their Aadhaar card or any identity proof. They can access the night shelters as and when they want to. And of course, the citizens of national capital can always feel free to donate food and clothing in these night shelters that are put in place across the national capital. Back to you.
All right, Shreya, thanks very much for joining us with that. So, of course, Divya, it's for Delhi's homeless. For them, it's extremely difficult to cope with this absolutely chilling winter there and a temperature dip also.
Right, and the temperature will dip even further. Cold and cold wave conditions prevailing just in the NCR region, so Delhi is not far behind. But as far as New Year's Day, till about the 1st of January, we expected the temperature to be just about normal, between 7 to 8 degrees at the minimum.
Absolutely. But moving now to the other big headline this morning, Divya, well, the superstars date with court. Nampally Court, which was hearing the regular bail petition of actor Allu Arjun, adjourned the hearing to today, and the court had previously placed the actor under 14-day judicial custody as well. That's set to expire today, so the actor will be appearing before court today.
That's right, and the actor, of course, had virtually appeared before the court on Friday, on the 27th. Of course, he had said that, if he was to make a personal appearance, that might create some sort of chaos as far as the courts are concerned. But meanwhile, there's also a song which has come out, which has been going completely viral. Vedant, take us through the song that is, criticizing Allu Arjun, apparently.
That's right, a song ridiculing Allu Arjun over the Sandhya Stampede case, as you said, is going viral. The song showcases dancers imitating the actor's style and body language, while the lyrics of the song, of course, targets the actor over the incident, really attacking and hitting out at the actor. But let me go across to my colleague Uma Sudhir, joining us live. So, Uma, is the actor likely to appear virtually before the court? Of course, he is on interim bail, but he had sought a regular bail.
Yes, indeed. So Allu Arjun did appear virtually on Friday when the court, he was to appear before the court, because obviously they wanted to avoid any kind of a chaos outside court. He does happen to be a superstar whose films have been huge hits and even otherwise extremely popular, and therefore to avoid any law and order issues, the court had allowed him to appear virtually. And now, yes, today the regular bail petition that's been filed by Allu Arjun is to come up in court. As you would recall, 13th of December is when he was arrested. The 13th is when subsequently the quash petition that came up in the High Court granted him interim bail for 4 weeks, and therefore on the 14th of December he was able to go home. But now he has filed for a regular bail petition, for which we are expecting that the police will also file its counter to the bail plea of Allu Arjun. Of course, on the 10th of January is when the judicial remand will end, and it will come up once again for hearing in front of the court as well. And what I must point out is that 3 developments that have happened related to this. One is, of course, in the interim, we have seen the family of Allu Arjun come forward and provide support to the victim Bhaskar and his family through the Telangana Film Federation, because Film Development Corporation, because what had happened was that you cannot directly approach the complainant in this particular case. It could be construed as some kind of a bribe, and therefore they had gone through the Telangana Film Development Corporation, and 2 crore rupees was given on behalf of the film, 50 lakh from the director, 50 from the producer, and 1 crore from the actor. So there has been some talk, and even when we spoke to Mr. Bhaskar, he had said he is not keen on pursuing the case further, but he will have to file a plea in court in case he wants to withdraw his case. Of course, legal opinion differing on whether that should be done or not. Second part is this viral video that we mentioned. Yes, there is a video that's now doing the rounds, which is mocking Allu Arjun in a sense, and saying that for the common man, you have to buy the tickets, applaud the actor, and yet be killed as well. So it seems to be cashing in on the mood that is a pro-people mood in the state. The third part is that the accused, who were 6 of them who were booked after the attack or ransacking of Allu Arjun's home, they have on their part, 3 of them have booked a case, or rather given a complaint to the police, suggesting that the fans of Allu Arjun have threatened them for the earlier actions, and therefore they are filing a police complaint against the fans of Allu Arjun, saying that they are being threatened by the fans of Allu Arjun. So 3 of them have lodged a complaint. The police is now considering it, whether to convert that into an FIR. Of course, in the interim, we have also seen the Chief Minister meet with the film elders, including with the father of Allu Arjun. Of course, the authorities have clarified that this does not mean that the case will be influenced in any manner, and they have also said that the summoning of the actor has already happened once by the police, and that may happen once again. Notices may be issued to Allu Arjun to appear before them, so that they can also take him to Sandhya Theatre in order to reconstruct the scene. And there is also a report that the theatre, which was issued a notice asking why it should not be closed down. 11 points were mentioned in that, and now we understand that the theatre has given a 12-page rejoinder to that to the police, saying that they are not to blame, because it's a very popular movie production house that was involved in inviting the actor for the premiere show, and therefore the theatre should not be blamed, because they have in the past as well held multiple shows at the same theatre with actors coming in, premiere shows as well, and they have not had any problem. Back to you.
All right, Uma, thanks very much for joining us with all those details there. So as Uma is reporting, that crucial bail plea hearing today in Telangana. But moving now, Divya, to the other big headline. Well, the poll battle is only heating up here in Delhi. The big Aam Aadmi Party versus BJP flashpoint. over what the Aam Aadmi Party is calling Operation Lotus. Well, the Aam Aadmi Party says that the BJP is deleting voters' names from the electoral roll.
That's right. So in the run-up to the elections, of course, it is election season in Delhi, and the ruling Aam Aadmi Party and the opposition BJP trading barbs and sharp political attacks. Of course, that latest flashpoint that you're talking about, the AAP, they're alleging that BJP is getting voters' names struck off the list in a desperate attempt to win the upcoming elections. Of course, Arvind Kejriwal there wanting to be back for the fourth time, Vedant.
Absolutely, and also the big row with Arvind Kejriwal saying that Atishi is number 2 in the party and Delhi Chief Minister will be arrested by the agencies. Take a look. Operation Lotus claims in Delhi. Weeks ahead of polls early next year, the Aam Aadmi Party boss Arvind Kejriwal opening a fresh front against the BJP. The BJP has rubbished the allegations, saying Kejriwal's loss is imminent.
पूरे दिल्ली में इन्होंने एक अभियान चला दिया नाम कटवाने का, और इन्होंने कहा कि संजय सिंह को भी अब सबक सिखाना है। तो उन्होंने क्या किया कि नई दिल्ली विधानसभा क्षेत्र में जहां के विधायक श्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी हैं, वहां पर हमारी पत्नी अनीता सिंह जी का नाम कटवाने के लिए एप्लीकेशन दे दी।
हम बार बार कह रहे हैं कि दिल्ली में अवैध वोटों को बसाने का काम अरविंद केजरीवाल और आम आदमी पार्टी कर रही है। कल भी साक्ष्य दिए थे, आज भी दिखाता हूं। 23/12/2024 को इलेक्टोरल रोल फ्रीज हो गया कि अब नई मतदाता सूची 6 जनवरी को आएगी। यह है एक असेंबली का नाम है नरेला। सिर्फ 24 तारीख को यहां पर 2000 से ज्यादा लोग अप्लाई करते हैं नया वोट बनाने के लिए। तो मैं ये पूछना चाहता हूं अरविंद केजरीवाल, ये वोटर आए कहां से?
Out on bail himself, Kejriwal claims the agencies are now out to arrest his number 2 in the party and Delhi Chief Minister Atishi.
3 या 4 दिन पहले हमें अपने सूत्रों से पता चला है कि ईडी, सीबीआई और इनकम टैक्स तीनों एजेंसीज की मीटिंग हुई है, और उस मीटिंग में ऊपर से आदेश आए हैं कि कुछ भी फर्जी केस करके दिल्ली की सीएम आतिशी जी को गिरफ्तार किया जाए। ये मैं पूरी जिम्मेदारी के साथ आज बहुत बड़ा आरोप लगा रहा हूं कि इन तीनों एजेंसीज को ऊपर से कहा गया है कि दिल्ली की सीएम आतिशी जी को कोई भी फर्जी केस बनाकर गिरफ्तार किया जाए।
ये स्पष्ट हो गया है कि दिल्ली सरकार, जो आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार है, उस सरकार के अधिकारी भी इस बात को कह रहे हैं कि अरविंद केजरीवाल तुम तो झूठे हो भाई, तुम झूठ बोलते हो, तुम मक्कारी कर रहे हो। हमारे मुख्यमंत्री के खिलाफ कोई कार्रवाई नहीं चल रही है, और आतिशी मार लेना जो है वो बिल्कुल निर्दोष हैं, उनके खिलाफ कोई जांच नहीं चल रही।
The Transport Department was quick to reject these claims. In a letter to Chief Minister Atishi, the department called the allegations misleading, saying no such inquiry is underway. Claims and counterclaims are flying thick and fast, with the stage set for the Delhi dangal.
As the allegations continue to swirl, the question remains, will these claims impact the upcoming elections, or will they just be another chapter of the ongoing political tug-of-war between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party? With camera person Pawan, this is Anushka Garg for NDTV.
And well, Ishika Verma is now joining us live. So Ishika, claims and counterclaims flying thick and fast. It's of course a poll season. But what are the facts as far as these electoral roll deletions are concerned? Because there's a serious charge that the Aam Aadmi Party is making that names are deliberately being deleted from the voters list. What are officials saying on this?
Well, Vedant, what we are seeing that since day one, we saw both the parties, they met the Chief Election Commissioner and they submitted their complaint. While on one hand, the Aam Aadmi Party alleged that the voters' name were being deleted from the voters' list. It was the BJP that had alleged that there are many fake voters, who have been registered in the voters' list. Now, what we are seeing is that the Election Commission Office is in fact regularly writing to the
All right, we seem to have lost that line with Ishika there, but as Ishika is reporting, these allegations are not new. They've been made earlier as well. In fact, AAP MP Sanjay Singh came out on record and said that his wife's name has been deleted from the voters list as well. This is likely to turn into a big flashpoint, Divya, in the run-up to the crucial assembly polls early next year.
Right. Also, Arvind Kejriwal there saying that the BJP-led centre was hatching a conspiracy to arrest Atishree with the help of central probe agencies in a false case related to the Transport Department to stop the pink ticket scheme, which enables women to travel free on public buses in the city. And well, moving now, Divya, the big showdown between the Punjab government and the farmers. This as the farmers have announced a complete Punjab Bandh amid the farmers' protest. Remember, over 150 trains have been cancelled as well. They've been demanding, various things, including MSP as well. That's a big flashpoint there, but it's going to be a complete statewide Bandh today. Right. So the farmers have announced that Punjab Bandh leading to the expected closure of all shops across the state and disruptions as far as you mentioned, whether it's road or rail services. Emergency services will continue to operate. There will be no supply of milk, fruits, the essentials such as vegetables until the protest that ends, and that's only expected to end this evening, later in the evening without.
That's right. In fact, various organizations have now supported the Bandh as well. In fact, my colleague Gurpreet is now joining us live. So Gurpreet, how is this complete shutdown likely to impact the common man, as it were, given the fact that essential services will also be disrupted?
Well, yes, of course, we have seen the farmer. They had already given this Punjab Bandh call few days back, and today it has already been started from 7 a.m. onward, and it will be continued till 4 p.m. First of all, we will show all these visuals. We are reporting from Airport Road at Mohali at this point of time, showing these visuals. Even this railway track has been blocked by the farmers, and we have seen multiple trains have been cancelled. But at the same time, the farmers say they are sitting on the protest for so many days, but the government, specifically the central government, is not ready to talk to them to find out their solution. One side we have seen the tall leader of the farmers, Jagjit Singh Dallewal. He is already sitting on the hunger strike. We will have farmer leaders also. We will talk to them to understand how the day will be unfolded and how many inconvenience will be created to the people of Punjab. तो आपने 7 बजे से स्टार्ट कर दिया, हम देख रहे हैं एयरपोर्ट रोड पे हैं, लोगों को जाने नहीं दे रहे, तो क्या रहेगा आज का, क्या शेड्यूल क्या है?
बिल्कुल, हमने एयरपोर्ट की जो गाड़ियां हैं, जो जिनके पास टिकट है उनको जाने दे रहे हैं, और जो मेडिकल सेवाएं हैं वो बहाल की गई हैं। जिन बच्चों का इंटरव्यू है या जिनको बच्चों का एग्ज़ाम है उनको जाने दिया जा रहा है, जो कहीं शादी में जा रहे हैं उनको जाने दिया जा रहा है। हमारे पास हज़ारों वीडियो हैं जो मेडिकल के और उसके हैं जो एग्ज़ाम देने के लिए जा रहे हैं, हमने वो कैप्चर किया। सुबह 7 बजे से ऊपर देखिए वो सामने वो ट्रेन है उसको भी बंद किया गया है और नीचे पुल बंद किया गया है। तो जो मोहाली बंद के अंदर हमें पूरा समर्थन मिल रहा है।
जो लोग जॉब जा रहे हैं क्या उनको भी जाने दिया जा रहा है कि जहाँ उनके लिए नहीं है एंट्री?
नहीं, जॉब के लिए नहीं है, क्योंकि हमने बोला था सरकारी और गैर सरकारी अदारे जितने भी जो जुड़े हुए हैं संस्थाएं हैं वो सब बंद रहेंगे। और इसी के तहत हमें पीआरटीसी ने हमें बहुत समर्थन दिया है, उसके साथ हमें जो एसजीपीसी है उन्होंने समर्थन दिया है, आशा वर्कर, आंगनबाड़ी, पेट्रोल पंप, व्यापार मंडल ने हमें समर्थन दिया है, सभी हमें समर्थन प्राप्त हो चुके हैं।
टोटल पंजाब में कितनी जगहों पे ये पंजाब बंद कॉल है, यहाँ पे किसानों ने ब्लॉक किया?
अभी तक हमारे पास जो पॉइंट आ चुके हैं वो 200 प्लस के पॉइंट हमारे पास अभी तक आ चुके हैं। शाम तक ही हमें पता चलेगा, क्योंकि गांव स्तर पर, ब्लॉक स्तर पर, जिला स्तर पर, तहसील स्तर पर बंद की जो आह्वान है।
तो 4 बजे तक लगातार ऐसे ही रहेगा? 4 बजे के बाद
4 बजे के बाद ओपन कर दिया जाएगा सारा।
So well, a very clear word from the farmer Neta. He says that till 4 o'clock they will continue this protest. But these visuals are telling a lot of things at this point of time. We are showing these people, they wanted to go to their jobs, but they are not being allowed. So we will also talk to them. तो आप क्या यहाँ पे जॉब करते थे?
हाँ जी भाई जॉब करता जी मैं।
तो क्या जाने नहीं दे रहे?
जान नहीं दे रहे भाई, टाइम हो गया पहले ही, जान नहीं दे रहे।
पर वो कह रहे कि बंद कॉल काफी दिनों से पहले दी हुई थी, लोगों को अवेयर किया।
हाँ जी बिल्कुल।
तो फिर आज जाओगे नहीं आप अपनी कंपनी?
छुट्टी करनी पैनी जी सर,
Well, we can see even the people who are trying to go to join their job, they are not being allowed. But very clear word from the farmer leader, they say emergency services are still be resumed. So till 4 p.m. They will continue this protest on the various roads of Punjab. And what we have learned from the farmer leader, they are saying 200 roads are going to be blocked. So let's see that how much it will leave impact and whether the pressure they wanted to mount on the government, whether they will get some benefit out of this and the government is ready to talk to them or not, that is yet to be seen. Back to studio.
All right, Gurpreet, thanks very much for joining us with the latest there. As Gurpreet is reporting, the farmers demanding a whole host of things and fighting for their rights, but of course the common man also facing inconvenience because of the statewide bandh, as it were.
Right, and switching tracks to more news coming in, and this is in regard to Mumbai now. Now, Mumbai residents have received the perfect New Year gift, Vedant, as the first test landing of a commercial plane was successfully conducted at the Navi Mumbai International Airport.
That's right. This airport will eliminate the need for residents of the Navi Mumbai area to travel to the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj International Airport in Mumbai to catch their flights. Of course, a big milestone there for aviation as far as Mumbai is concerned. In fact, my colleague Yash Tiwari brings us this report.
It was touchdown for the first time as an Indigo commercial flight landed on the Navi Mumbai Airport tarmac. The flight was welcomed with a water cannon salute. Officials say that the first phase of this 4-terminal airport is scheduled to open to the public by April 17th.
ये historic है not only for Navi Mumbai, it's for the entire aviation sector. because जिस हिसाब से इंडिया में एविएशन सेक्टर का ग्रोथ पोटेंशियल है, which is expected to grow 5 times, 5 गुना ग्रोथ होना है, वो ग्रोथ के लिए ऐसे नए ग्रीनफील्ड एयरपोर्ट आर मस्ट इन इंडिया.
Managing Director of Maharashtra City Planning Agency (CIDCO) said that they have proposed the construction of a 32-kilometer long metro line connecting Chhatrapati Shivaji Airport to the Navi Mumbai International Airport. This line will connect all the major metro lines of the city.
छत्रपति शिवाजी इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट और ये नवी मुंबई इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट है, इन दोनों के बीच में मेट्रो का भी अपना प्रपोजल है जिसका डीपीआर तैयार है. उसके लिए राज्य सरकार को हम लोगों ने भेजा हुआ है परमिशन के लिए. एक बार वो परमिशन मिलने के बाद वो हम टेंडर निकाल के काम भी शुरू करेंगे.
Connectivity to this new airport by road has already been planned. The Atal Setu Bridge was constructed in the sea, connecting the Navi Mumbai Airport to the Mumbai city.
Once this becomes operational, people of Navi Mumbai don't have to travel across the city to reach Chhatrapati Shivaji Airport. And once the airport comes in operational, Terminal 1 will go under redevelopment. With cameraman Vijay Sartape, this is Yash Tiwari for NDTV Mumbai.
With that, we'll take a short break now. But Divya, our appeal to our viewers to join our special blanket donation drive.
That's right. Year on year, Uday Foundation does the blanket donation drive. You can help people survive this cold, help save lives, and blankets can be dropped off at their location. On your screen is Uday Foundation, D233, Sarvodaya Enclave, New Delhi, 110017.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Download any single ID partner app, link your card and earn reward with top brand.
Get it free with single ID.
NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
We are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
लगातार जनता की आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का काम मैं करता हूं.
I was a student up until very recently. I really want to work and do something for my people because they have given me this opportunity. They have elected me.
सोचा नहीं था कि राज्यसभा सांसद बनूंगी.
Mahakumbh, a festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual sun.
Welcome back. Now, India's race for the quickest delivery may have people at large paying a huge price, whether it's Zepto, Zomato or Swiggy, that are in that cutthroat competitive streak, trying to outdo each other in terms of delivering within 10 minutes, Vedant. But that's raised quite a lot of concerns.
Absolutely, about nutritional value of the food being ordered in the quickest time from options like, as you mentioned, Zepto Cafe, Zomato's Bistro and Swiggy Bolt. All of them have promised delivery times and very strict deadlines as well. But what about the empty calories it's delivering and the health toll? That is why, of course, experts are extremely concerned as well, because instant gratification seems to become the norm, Divya.
That's right, and we're talking about orthopedic surgeon and NutriBite Wellness co-founder Manan Vora, who's raised this alarm about the impact of this speed-first approach when it comes to public health. And to get to know more on this, we have our guest with us, Shikha Sharma, nutritionist and founder of One Health, joining us. We also have Revant Himmat Singka, health influencer, as food farmer, food safety campaigner, also joining us. Revant, let me go across to you first. When we talk about empty calories, and of course the food that is being served is reaching us within 10 minutes. Of course, it's being cooked for under 3 minutes. Take us through the danger of consuming such food, and especially when you're consuming this day on day, because perhaps people who don't have access to home cooked food, they have odd hours and thus have no option but to resort to such measures.
So, of course, it's dangerous, but you mentioned that someone does not have access to home-cooked food, so they probably anyway are having junk as well. So we have to also realize that currently people were having, the people you mentioned were having 2-minute noodles. So they are switching from a 2-minute noodles to a 10-minute delivery. So the point is they are having junk regardless. So I think we need to do a major awareness about how much, how the processes are, how clean they are. How are they able to achieve 10-minute delivery, which means that the cook time is 2 to 3 minutes. So we need awareness around those things. But obviously, anything which is delivered in 10 minutes cannot be healthy. It cannot be good for your body in any way or form.
Right, take us through the processes involved in order to, make the food last longer, etc., etc. It's loaded with sugar, loaded with salt, and when we talk about the dangers, there's been a 12% increase in cancer risk, 10% rise as far as cardiovascular diseases are concerned, and of course also leading to obesity.
So most of these foods, as far as I know, are pre-cooked. So it's not that it is cooked after you order, it's pre-cooked and it's just, lying around there in maybe a heated cabinet or something along those lines, or a fridge, and they reheat the food in a microwave. So that's how the food is lasting, and that's how they're able to deliver it so quick. And of course, any food which is just reheated and delivered will not be, we have a nutritionist here as well, and it will not be good for our body. These are highly ultra processed foods, and this is also not like, it's not no secret that India is the diabetes capital of the world and now becoming the cancer capital of the world. So these things are obviously interlinked. At the same time, I will also say that we have to also look at the alternatives, that people, consumers themselves need to be more aware of what they're consuming. We cannot ban these apps necessarily. We need to make more conscious decisions. So for so many decades, we've been having 2-minute noodles and things like that, and they are not healthy either. So we cannot like pinpoint one company or one thing as an evil. We need to, as consumers, make better choices.
So that's an important point you're making, and the point you made earlier about easy access versus people, having junk food regardless. Shikha, come in on this, because I think what has changed essentially is that now you have as many more options, in terms of options in price range and all of those being delivered within 10 or 15 minutes or so. So I think access is one point, but having so many options makes it easier and makes it more convenient for, say, the consumer to go on the app, order whatever he wants, all of it is junk, and get it delivered within 10 to 15 minutes.
Absolutely. Now, if you really see US, which is an economy which had followed this path long time back, US, when the whole drive had started, the industrial drive on processing, at that time US had 24% obesity. Now it's reached 64%. So it's very clearly linked that the more industry goes towards processing and creating pre-packaged or semi food which are pre-cooked and then sent within 10 minutes, the obesity rises, and with that all the diseases start rising. Now the question is that it is human nature to want something or quick gratification, to want something quickly. So that I do not know how much we can change. But what we can change is that what are you choosing to be delivered? What are you asking for? Because even if somebody doesn't have, let's say, access to quick food, like let's say a working couple, in quick food you have bananas, you have oranges, you have nuts, you have peanuts, you have so many other things which you actually don't need to cook at all. It can be there and it's extremely healthy. The question is that people don't have the right knowledge to make the right choices, because unfortunately nutrition as a subject is never taught in school, which is the most critical subject, because it is the this is what is going to really forecast whether a person is going to be a diseased individual or a person is going to be a healthy individual, because people just don't know. In fact, there are many people who even while they might be highly educated, don't have any idea about what is good food and what is bad food. So for them, chips is also vegetable because it has potato.
I think that's an interesting point you're making, because it's all a blur, isn't it, Revan? That what's healthy, what's not healthy, one can never make out, because a lot of the food branded as healthy on all these apps, on all these instant delivery apps, isn't healthy at all, in fact.
Yeah, I feel that is the real epidemic, is that brands which are purely like junk food claiming to be healthy, and everything right from a 3 rupee biscuit to a 3,000 rupee protein powder, everything today is claiming to be healthy because they know that consumers want health, or at least they claim to want health. So every company is claiming to be healthy today. And as a consumer, you often don't know what is actually healthy because everyone's claiming to be healthy. So consumers get confused. So that is a very big challenge, which is why we need stronger regulations of companies who's claiming to be healthy and who's not. So the parameters behind health, we need to be very, very strongly, so the regulations need to be very strong, because unfortunately today, every company, almost every restaurant is claiming to be healthy. And as a customer, it's very difficult to make out what is truly healthy.
Right, Shikha Sharma, come in here. Is balance the key? By the click of a button now, whether it's watching, consuming OTT platforms at home, or ordering food at home, and binge watching, and then wanting to order something in the middle of the night, even though you've had dinner. Take us through. It's a vicious cycle that we're talking about, and how does one really try to come out of this? What are your healthy options? You mentioned some of the foods one could eat instead, but when you can just click a button and have it delivered in no time, that of course is more luring. Even if you have to get something delivered, what is the kind of food that you would perhaps suggest?
See, firstly, like I would like to mention here that I looked at the data which was there. And what is shocking is that most of these deliveries are very late night, which is actually the worst time to eat anything, especially for the heart. So the later you eat anything, it's worse for the heart. And most heart attacks happen at 2 a.m. Because the whole system is clogged. And putting food after 10 and heavy food like pizza and biryanis, and those are the most ordered food, pizzas and biryanis, and late night snacking. So what are the options which one can have? See, firstly, what I would say is that in the winters, you can order like a meal soup. But what is a meal soup? A meal soup is which has your vegetables, which has some cereal, which has which if you are having chicken, it could have be a chicken soup, but like a full meal pot, like they say, which has everything in it. So you feel full, but it doesn't need to be fast food, because soups are naturally foods you can cook fast.
Right.
That is one. Second thing I would say is that if you're having a late night meal, try to have foods which have more of greens in them. Like, for example, even if you're having a wrap, don't go for a wrap which has like a paneer wrap or a chicken wrap, because that's heavily processed.
So that's an important point you're making, I think, Divya, because having some greens on the side, even if you're having fries or even if you're having say a burrito bowl, etc., having some greens on the side, some salad, I think is helpful. But Divya, one thing I must mention here on the side is that this instant delivery and how unfair it is on those delivery executives as well, to deliver so many orders in just 10-15 minutes, and with Blinkit, Zepto, Zomato, while of course we discuss the health ramifications, extremely unfair on those delivery executives as well to expect them to deliver orders within 5 to 10 minutes.
Right, giving them heart attacks as well in order to, deliver on time, while giving the consumers heart attacks because the high levels of trans fat. We talk about palm oil and so much of sugar that goes into these processed foods. Thank you so much for speaking with us in regard to the downside when it comes to these delivery apps. Vedanta, of course, I'm sure you do also have these on your phone.
So do you, Divya, but well, all of us are part of that lifestyle epidemic as it's become. Thanks very much both for joining us on the show this morning. But moving on to some other news, well, a colossal 256-foot cutout of actor Ram Charan was unveiled in Andhra Pradesh's Vijayawada ahead of the highly anticipated release of his upcoming film Game Changer.
Well, it's believed to be the largest cutout ever dedicated to a film star. This towering installation reflects the unmatched admiration when it comes to Ram Charan's fan base. It's a tribute to the actor in Andhra Pradesh, and like Vedant mentioned, 256 feet tall. Well, Vedant, that's larger than life, of course.
And moving now, Divya, to our special focus on the show this morning. Well, Grandmaster Koneru Hampi capped off a wonderful year for Indian chess, defeating the Indonesian champion to emerge as a FIDE Women's World Rapid Chess Champion in New York. Hampi had won the title back in 2019 as well.
Right, that title back in 2019 at Georgia, and India's #1 is only the second player after China's Zhu Wenjun to clinch that title more than before.
And joining us on the breakfast show this morning, well, Koneru Hampi, the champion herself. Thanks very much for being with us. My first question to you at the outset, big congratulations to you. You've made Indian chess, and India proud in that sense. How did you feel when you won the title? What does it mean for Indian chess?
Thanks a lot. It was indeed a very happy moment for me, because this is my second world title, and I think it's a golden era for Indian chess, having two world champions in the same year. Definitely this will motivate a lot of youngsters to become professionals.
Right. Also, were you disappointed when you lost that first game, and how did you really bounce back from it is the question.
Yeah, definitely losing the first game disappointed me. But I think somewhere inside I had that fight to strike back. And that really helped me on the second day when I won 4 games in a row and came back to the joint lead. And at that point, I started telling myself to forget that loss and to just think about the last 3 games. And I think that was a very wise decision because I was smart enough to decide where to take the risk and against which player I had the most possible chances for victory. So I think off the board, that was a very crucial decision. I drew 2 games with white pieces, which is not easy for a professional player to settle for a draw with white in such a crucial tournament. But I waited for the opportunity, and when I got it, I utilized.
And how did you handle all the stress? I mean, you seemed so composed while playing that unflappable quality. How did you handle all the stress, during the game?
Maybe बहुत tense होती हूँ when I'm playing, but मैं बहुत बार मुझको समझाने के लिए कोशिश करते हैं कि काम रहना तो बहुत अच्छा रिजल्ट आएंगे. If you're tensed, you will not give your best. Like you will lose that control. You will lose the focus. So I tried my best to stay calm, and as a personality also, I am a very silent person. I think that also reflects on my game.
Right. Also, it is family support that's key when it comes to winning such competitions. And of course, it's as much the family's win as it is yours. Get us their reaction as you won.
Yeah, ये सच है कि वो आज सब लोग तब जीत गए तो वो कंग्रेचुलेट करते हैं, बट इसके पीछे तो बहुत मेहनत है पूरे फैमिली का. मेरे पापा मेरा ट्रेनर है. वो उसका नौकरी छोड़ के मुझे ट्रेन कर दिया और वो भी द्रोणाचार्य अवार्डी है. वो बहुत सैक्रिफाइसेस किया है मेरा फैमिली, लाइक financially and even time wise they put lot of efforts on me. And as you said, मेरे हस्बैंड और बेटी भी, मैं तो बहुत ट्रैवल करती हूँ टूर्नामेंट्स के लिए, तो मेरा बेटी बहुत छोटी है, वो मिस करती है. सो ये सब सैक्रिफाइसेस करना पड़ता है ऐसा कुछ अचीव करने का चाहत है तो. बट मैं बहुत खुश हूँ कि मैं वो सक्सेसफुली कर दिया है. विनिंग द वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप इज आई थिंक इट्स अ लाइफ टाइम एम्बिशन फॉर एवरी प्लेयर, and I'm happy that I made it twice.
Absolutely, we're all happy. But also, how has your journey been so far? Do you yourself see your growth trajectory self-critically?
Definitely, there is a lot of improvement. Like I still remember when I became a grandmaster in 2002, I was the world's youngest female grandmaster. But there was not much attention, or there was no involvement of corporates coming in. So I have literally struggled a lot financially without having the sponsors for many years. So that's when I joined the ONGC, and they started giving me the financial support to travel to international tournaments. So, but today the story is entirely different. Like if you are a successful player, like everyone start appreciating, and they start giving the financial assistance. So that way I think the newer generation is having much more privileges.
Right, of course, it's been a golden era when it comes to Indian chess, but it's been a good year overall as far as sports is concerned. Do you think that sports personalities get the adequate support that they need?
India is a superpower. Like we, in the leadership of our Modi ji, the sports has improved tremendously. Like they have been giving a tremendous support to all the athletes who are capable of achieving the medals. And also, especially talking about my state, like our Honorable Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu Garu, he has given a lot of encouragement to sports